I'm back at project house number 1, and today I'm going to be working on some drainage. But first, let's get the excavator fired up. While that warms up, I'm going to walk up here and show you guys what I'm going to be working on today. So, what I'm going to be doing is digging out along the foundation here all the way down to the footer, and then I'm going to connect the footer drain from the addition in here and run it out that way. I'm also going to put some foundation sealer on here and then backfill with gravel. This will probably be a couple days process, but let's get into it. I'm going to start by bringing the excavator up the hill. The excavator I'm using, it's a John Deere 35G. It's a 2014, I believe. I got this at auction. I've been using it a lot around here. It's been working very well, getting everything I need to get done. I've actually used it more than I thought I would. It comes in handy for all kinds of stuff. Lawnmower gets stuck, pulls it out, all kinds of stuff. But right here, this hill is very slippery. I was originally thinking about putting the driveway going up this hill, but this week when I was coming down this driveway, after a little bit of rain, it was really slick and the truck kind of slid and we had a close encounter hitting the garage. So I think that might not be the best place for a driveway, but we'll see. I figure if it was that slick with just a little bit of rain, even if there's gravel down and everything, if it snowed, I feel like I'd be in the same situation. So now I'm just trying to debate if maybe I should bring the driveway up on the other side of the garage, because I eventually want to get a driveway up here close to the house, so you don't have to walk from clear down there all the way up to the house. Now you're seeing me just get in position. I tried right there, didn't really love it. I don't really operate the excavator a lot, so I'm not very efficient at it yet, but I'm just getting started here. And I'm starting on this corner and then going to work my way around. And I actually have some help coming later to help me dig, and they all dig a lot faster than I am because I'm, again, not very efficient at it yet. But there I am, running down, getting my shovels, because I dig maybe a few inches off the house and then I take the shovel and knock it down. And it's early in the morning, so it's kind of tough to see here. But there'd be a little layer of dirt, and I'll just take the shovel, knock it down, then dig it out, and then just essentially keep doing that process. This is a long process, tedious, but it needed to get done. There's Alex there. He's going to help me dig. So I was kind of just showing him what we were doing, and then he's going to take over and dig this side, and you see he'll dig part of the other side there. And this first part here, there's not really a ton for two people to do at first, because it's more so just one person digging. And then once it gets dug out, you'll see I can be in there scraping the sides, getting it ready for that foundation sealer, stuff like that. But for right now, I'm just checking, making sure the depth's good and clearing it off with the shovel when need be. I moved the GoPro here to try to get a little better angle, but it's still so dark. It's going to get a lot better as the sun comes up more. Working with these short days, it doesn't get light till 8 o'clock, and then we're dark by 6. And now that the time change is even worse, we're dark at 5 o'clock now. But there I am, scraping the sides as he's digging, and you'll see a lot of that today. There's a lot of prep work involved in getting these walls cleaned off and ready for sealer. I was just scraping and scraping and scraping and scraping. Probably scraped these walls for 8 hours over the course of 2 days just to get them clean enough. I started with just that little scraper you see me have in the video, and then once I got it as good as I could get with that, I'd go back over. I was using a wire brush, a regular brush, another scraper. But the trick was when it's all wet, it's hard to get it off of there. So I would have to scrape all the dirt off and then wait for it to dry. And then once it dried, I could go back and scrape again. But right there, you see me, I'm just doing the first scrape, just getting all the big chunks off, and there's still a lot more to go. And you see that little green pipe there? That's the footer drain I put in for the addition. I'm going to tie that in when I run this new one for the house. That's actually going to be a different video because this video turned out to be so long, and my computer can't really handle making anything much longer than this. It's going to be right around 30 minutes, and that's going to be where it's topping out. So I'll have a follow-up video, which will be installing all the footers. Well, not installing the footers, but installing all the footer drains, or as some of you like to call them, footing drains. Around my part of the country, they're only called footers, but some people have commented in other videos saying there's no such thing as a footer. They're all footings. So whatever you want to call it, footer, footing, whatever. Going to be putting the drains for that. And then once those drains are in, going to be working on backfilling it. And what I'm going to do is take pretty much stone all the way to the surface. I'm going to leave just a little bit for dirt, soil, so grass can grow or whatever. But pretty much I'm going to do stone all the way to the surface. I don't want to deal with any potential water issues moving forward. The front side is now almost complete. I'm just going through, scraping it again. I want to get as much of these big chunks of dirt off as I can, and then once it dries, I'll be able to get it a lot more cleaned up. So now that this front side's getting complete, we're going to move on to the opposite side and do that side and then save the front for last. The front's only buried a few feet, so it's probably not even necessary to do it, but I figured since the rest of it's done, we might as well do it. I wasn't originally going to, but that it's not much work just to go ahead and do it all. So I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Right there, you see me pulling on. That was the old electric running to the garage. They had a lot of power out there, and they were only running it in a 10-3 wire, and they had a lot of stuff out there because it's a two-story garage. Moving on to this other side now, going to get started in this corner and work our way down. Originally, what the plan was to start on the other corner, but Alex didn't love the way the excavator was lining up, and it was kind of tilted more than he loved. So that's why he decided we better start on this corner. So that's what we did. And while he's digging out, I'm over on the other side just scraping away more. This is definitely the most challenging corner because there's a lot of stuff on this side. As you can see on the right there, there's the new electric panel, and that's coming in underground. And then near that, about a 2 foot back, there's the sewer line. And here I am just scraping away, scraping away, scraping away. There's a lot of prep work that has to be done that I think a lot of people don't understand. These walls have to be pretty clean for the foundation sealer to stick. So it's not just dig it out and put the foundation coating on. There's probably, well, there's definitely more time in just getting all the dirt and getting the walls cleaned off properly than digging itself. On this side, it was going pretty well. You can see there on the right, the electrical box, the globe, that little handle on the excavator kind of hit it right there. So it cracked it. So that's going to be replaced, but that's not a huge deal. I called the power company and they said they'd send somebody out to fix that. The power's still functioning in the house, so they weren't too concerned. They said it's not a big concern. They'll just come out and replace that globe eventually. Right around in here, Alex found a ground. There was the old ground for the cable or the phone box. We didn't need it anymore. But you'll see it later on when I'm actually sealing up the foundation. And there, that guy in the brown, there's Logan. He's back again. He helped me. If you guys remember when we did this front corner here, he came over for a few hours and helped me that day and was in that video. He's the guy that was using all those red Milwaukee tools. He claims to be a DeWalt guy, but I tell you, that whole day I didn't see him with a single DeWalt tool. So I think he might have converted over to Milwaukee. I don't know. Then once we got close here, you'll see a lot more hand digging because I want to be sure we don't hit that power coming in. That's a new conduit that I put in a few months back, and basically it's one of the only things we wanted to avoid hitting. Anything else really didn't matter because all the other utilities are going to be replaced, but the power line wasn't, or the power coming in wasn't. So you're going to see a lot of hand digging and stuff like that coming up. It was unfortunate, but it's just the way it needed to be done. And once we get it exposed, then it starts to move on a little bit faster. Now is probably a good time to talk a little about why I'm doing this. So there was a little bit of water that would come in on this back corner near where the excavator is. Not like standing water or puddles of water or stream of water. The floor would just get a little bit damp if it rained a lot. And as you can see back behind there, it's a big hillside. So a lot of water comes down that hill right to the house. So back in probably May or June, my buddy Blake came by with the dozer, dozed the front yard, leveled that out. And in part of that, kind of right behind in the wood line where you see that old footing or footer, he did a rough ditch back around there to catch the water coming off the hillside and reroute it away from the house. And that has worked really well and kept the basement dry ever since then. So there hasn't been any moisture problems, and I think really that solved everything. But I put in new footer drains for the addition about a month or so ago. If you guys want, you can see the other videos on my channel. You can see me doing that. And I hadn't got them tied into the existing footer drains here. They're all clay tile. Winter's coming up, and I figured it'd be best to get those all tied in and everything good to go before winter, so I didn't have to worry about anything freezing. So I decided, let's dig these up and put these new footer drains in. The addition is on a crawl space. It's a pretty deep crawl space. It's 7 blocks tall, but it's a crawl space nonetheless. The house is 10 blocks tall. So the house is 3 blocks taller than the garage, or I mean the addition. So it goes 3 blocks deeper. So that means I could have just dug down 7 blocks on the house and just ran straight pipe straight along the house for that footer drain around the addition to drain out. But I decided I might as well just dig everything up, replace all the footer drains, then I know everything's new, everything's good, I don't have to worry about it. Again, this probably wasn't necessary, but I would rather just be safe than sorry. The house already has, it's basically the blocks coated in essentially hydraulic cement and then it's sealed. So I don't think there's really going to be any issues, but it's not a lot of money for a little bit of peace of mind. So decided to dig all the way up, replace all the footer drain, and then we'll backfill with gravel. The gravel is going to be the most expensive cost of this whole project. We'll probably use $1,500 of gravel. As far as like the foundation coating goes, that's like 100 bucks, $125, and then some fabric, and then a few $100 in pipe. So it just gives some peace of mind that everything's done good and won't have any moisture issues moving forward. This is, I think, probably about the best way to do it. A lot of times you see they're just backfill with dirt, etc. But I felt a lot better backfilling with gravel than if the pipe ever does clog one day in the future. I got a trench along the house that's 2 foot wide and 3 foot deep of drainage gravel, so the water can all just flow out itself. It's basically just creating a giant drain. Now we're a little bit later on in the day. The morning shift is over. I went home, let the dogs out, ate lunch, came back, and when I came back, I worked on scraping for a couple hours. Probably about 3 hours. I was just scraping what was done, using a brush, getting it as clean as I could. And then Corey came over. You see him right there. He has a YouTube channel, CST Outdoors. If you guys want to see outdoor stuff, you can go check it out. He posts mainly videos about deer hunting and stuff like that right now. He has one going to like a Amish petting zoo. But his channel is CST Outdoors, and I'll link it in here. Or I don't know if I can link it or not, but I'll put a tag to it so you guys can see it. He's helping out, digging this last few feet on this side. He was here for about a half an hour, and he dug that out. And then for some reason, the GoPro stopped recording, but right about top where my head is later on, he hits the house right there. Luckily for him, we didn't get on video because that would have been lovely to have in video. It would have been quite the clip, but we didn't get that on video. And then he also caved the whole trench in, which didn't get on video. For some reason, the video stopped recording right about the time he was finishing up this corner. But you guys can see the same way where he kind of gets it most of the way from the house, then I'm knocking it down with the shovel the rest of the way off. And around these corners where the old meets the new is tricky because you want to make sure you don't hit the new footer drain I put in. You kind of want to keep it to just digging out the old stuff. All the old stuff here was clay tile. It was pretty tough to see because it kind of just all disintegrates into the soil. But you guys probably saw like the old downspout line and stuff. There's a lot of clay tile and it just kind of breaks when you hit it. So now we're on to the third operator of the day. This is Blake. He runs North Service, and he's by far the most efficient operator that you guys have seen in the video today. He got this front done in about 15 minutes. The right side took about maybe an hour and a half or so. The left side was about 3 hours of work. So 15, and both of those were 32 foot. This front's only 26 foot, and it's not quite as deep, but still got it done in really fast time. Now what he's working on is moving some of the dirt out of the way so he can get the excavator in. So on the other side of this electric, there is the old sewer line, and it's cast run out of the house about 3 foot, and then it switched to clay tile. And I figured since everything's already dug up, there's no reason not to dig that out and replace it with new PVC. So then I know that I'm not going to have any problems. Everything's good in the future. So he's just digging out right in front of where that is. And I'm going to take and remove the cast, cut a little bit of concrete out inside, put new PVC in, run that about 7, 8 feet from the house, and then just stub it up. And then once it's time for the septic to go in, I'll have that away from the house. So that can be dug up and I won't have to dig around all this electric again and the new footer drain and all of that. So all I'm doing is bringing that away from the house. And this video ended up being so long, so that's going to be a separate video. And that will be coming out in probably a week or so. I've been using primarily time-lapse videos, but now I'm going to switch over to a regular video. And this is with the wide angle GoPro lens. So it gives a more wide view. You can see this right side, it's the cleanest. It's the one that was dug first, so it dried and was able to get it cleaned off. The front was dug last, so it's still wet, and you guys can really tell. This other side here, it's pretty good, but it still needs some more cleaning. Now the front definitely will need more cleaning, but the sun is about to set, so that's pretty much the end of what is going to be done today. You can see there's still, the front's a lot more dirty than even the side, but both of them need a little bit more cleaning. I just wanted to go through with this camera, go around, walk around to show everything. You can see a little bit more than just in the time lapse. Here's going to be the trench for the sewer line. It's just going to come right out of the house there. And then right around in here, it'll 90-degree straight up. And then again, I'll just be able to find it whenever it comes time to move on to that part of the process. And then down in here, I'm going to put our whole new inside, like I already told you guys. So basically everything's going to be new. Then the footer drains will go in the next video. And then after all of these footer drains come in, we'll tie into the existing and then backfill just like this existing is. Again, that's going to be in the next video because this video's been so long. I'm going to put the footage of sealing the foundation into this video, and then that's going to pretty much wrap up this part of the video. Now it is day 2 of working on this, and I filled in all the cracks and used hydraulic cement to fill in any holes. I didn't get any video of that in this 16:9 format. I did get some videos on YouTube Shorts doing that, or short style. So I'm going to be making a few shorts showing that process. If you guys are interested in seeing that, you can check out my shorts. They might be up before this video or after this video, but they'll be up within the next week or two. Now, what I'm using to seal the foundation is this Henry's foundation coating. I'm not sponsored by Henry's. It's just what I used for the rest of it and what I'm liking, what I liked using. So that's why I'm using it. It's readily available around here and it works well. That first can I used was what I used to do the backside. So it's been sitting for a couple months and it really thickened up a lot. So it didn't cover as well as a new can would. I'm not sure if that's just because it was open, it's been sitting for a few months, or maybe the temperature fluctuations, because it is getting colder, caused it to thicken up. But once I switched to the new can I bought, it started going a lot faster. It was a lot more liquidy, not as thick, and spread a lot better and went a lot farther. So the first 5 feet took about a gallon of the old stuff, if not more. And then I was able to use the new jug I bought, which I believe they're 4.5 gallons, to finish up this whole side and do the other side. And both of these sides are 32 feet. That's about 64 feet. And then if we take off about 5 foot from the old can, I made it about 59 feet on one can. So that's pretty good. They say the coverage is 100 square feet per gallon. I didn't quite get that good of coverage, but it was still pretty good. There's Blake again. He came by to see how I was doing. He had another tub of stuff that he used, so he brought that over. It was like a half-used tub, and I was hoping that would be enough to finish up this job. Unfortunately, it ended up not being quite enough, but that's all right. Later on, you see, I texted him, and he went and grabbed me another jug of the coating so I could finish up. I got really close, but still had a little ways to go. So now that's the first side done. I'm going to be moving on to the second side. And I did both these long sides first to leave the nice, easy little one last. This one was, again, probably the most challenging one to do because dealing with that electrical line, walking over it, and keeping the brush away from it. I decided to put the sealer up. You see I'm putting it up all the way besides the last 3 blocks. The addition, it's went all the way up. But for the rest of this, I'm putting it all the way up besides the last 3 blocks. The ground is going to be below where I'm putting it. I saw no need to continue it up higher. I'm going to be getting I believe I'm going to be using a Drylok on the block above and putting that on the outside so it's a nice fresh coat. But essentially, they had the hydraulic cement on the first 7 courses, so that's where I'm putting this foundation sealer. And it's going really well. The new stuff, again, it spreads way nicer. This is a time lapse, so it probably took me an hour to do each side. This was probably about 3.5 hours, or not 3.5, but 2.5 hours in total to put a coat around this whole house. So it's not super fast by any means, but not too bad. And this is just like a cheap insurance plan to keep moisture out of the basement. You can see all that hydraulic cement, so really probably nothing's going to get in here, but you can never be too safe. And this was quite a workout. Again, the prep is what takes most of the work. So there was probably 5 times as long just cleaning and getting all of this ready to put the sealer on, and there was actually putting sealer on. So that's what you guys, when you do this, you have to be sure you get it as clean as you can, because if you have a bunch of dirt on there, it's not going to give you a good coating, good seal. Won't be quite as good. Now this, I'm using the jug Blake brought me, and again, it was one that had been used before, and this one was a lot thicker as well. You guys can kind of see in the video just putting it on how it's thicker. I mean, I can tell in the video. I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but you can see how it's going on so thick. It's more like a tar-like. So there me, I'm texting Blake asking, hey, can you bring me another tub of it? And then you'll see he does. And this, so the older stuff, or the stuff that's been open, it was a lot harder to put on. It was a lot more workout. It was so thick just to spread it out on there. It was a lot of work. If any of you know what causes it to thicken up, if it's the temperature or if it's from sitting, leave a comment down below. I'd love to know. I tried to look it up online and wasn't really finding too much out about it. I know I suspect it could be the temperature, so the stuff I had left over I took home and put in my basement so it doesn't get to freezing temperatures or extremely hot temperatures. It'll stay more climate controlled. So I'll see if that helps, because eventually the garage you see behind me, I'm going to do this to the garage as well, but that's going to be a project for next year in the spring. This, again, I just wanted to get all done, wrapped up before winter, and then once the winter comes, my focus is going to be more on the inside. I'm trying to get as much of this outside done before winter as I can. I'm really hopeful to have a new roof on this whole place before winter, and then this winter I can focus my time on the inside. I would love to get a new floor system on the inside, get it framed out, get some of the electrical and plumbing and all that roughed in, and just spend my time in there. Anyways, this side is about done. It's coming to the end of this video. If you guys like this video, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.